Hi, everyone.
You're listening to Radio Cherry Bombe, and I'm your host, Carrie Diamond. Today is the first episode of our Sexy Italian Summer miniseries. Today, and over the next few Wednesdays, we're celebrating all things Italy, La Dolce Vita, Cucina Italiana, and the incredible women who bring it all to life. Today's guest is J.J. Martin, the founder of DoubleJ, the Milan-based maximalist fashion and lifestyle brand rooted in vintage prints, spiritual energy, and the magic of Italian craftsmanship. She is also author of the book Mama Milano, Lessons from the Motherland. JJ might seem Milanese through and through, but she's also a California girl, as you're about to learn. JJ and I have known each other since our days at Harper's Bazaar magazine, and I'm so thrilled to welcome her to the show. I'm a big fan of her dresses and housewares and pretty much everything she does. In just a minute, we'll learn what sexy Italian summer means to her and what she's eating, drinking, and doing. We'll also talk about how she built her business. So maybe grab a spritz and some snacks and stay tuned. If you're loving these Italian summer vibes, don't miss the upcoming issue of Cherry Bombe's print magazine because it's all about Italy. The team and I are working on it as we speak, and I just finished editing several stories last night. We have a special guest editor-in-chief, so many great writers and photographers and recipe developers, and 2 amazing cover stars. Keep an eye on our Instagram for some sneak peeks. The Italy issue will be out in September, and you can pre-order now at cherrybombe.com. Snag a subscription or a single issue. The link is in our show notes. This episode of Sexy Italian Summer is brought to you by Nonnino, the family-owned, female-led Italian distillery that's redefining what's in your glass this summer. Their secret? Spirits that take your aperitivo hour from basic to bellissima in one sip. As you're planning your aperitivo hour, there's no better place to start than with the famous Paper Plane cocktail. It's a cinch to make, as it's equal parts Nonnino Amaro, Aperol, bourbon, and lemon juice. The Paper Plane is bright, bittersweet, and looks like summer in a glass. If a spritz is more your style, there's L'Aperitivo Nonnino. Floral and fresh, L'Aperitivo Nonnino can be topped with Prosecco or sparkling grapefruit soda and a squeeze of lime for a refreshing twist on the summertime classic. And then there's Grappa, the signature spirit of the Nonnino family. They were the first to take the grape seeds and skin left from the winemaking process and create single varietal grappa. When you sip a grappa made by the Nonninos, you'll realize it's been crafted with all the care of a fine wine. Whether you sip it or use it in your cocktails, Nonnino Grappa is the perfect finale to that aperitivo hour you're planning. Feel free to invite us over. One last thing. Nonnino is the result of 6 generations of strong, visionary women shaping the brand. Now that's a legacy. Chin chin to that. Today's show is also presented by Square. We know so many of you are out there making culinary magic happen, running restaurants, bars, bakeries, and coffee shops. You're juggling staffing and sourcing while dreaming big. New locations, must-have menu items, and more customers. We see your hustle, and so does Square. The point-of-sale technology that helps you manage everything, all from one place, from payments to staff, customers, and insights. A little bit about Square. 15 years ago, not all businesses could accept credit cards. Hard to believe, but true. Square set out to change that, inventing the first mobile card reader of its kind. This allowed businesses to take payments anywhere and keep thriving. Square's tools unlocked countless opportunities for small businesses. Today, Square is helping more than 7 million businesses save time and be more efficient. Their tools are like having a tech-savvy sous chef for your business, one that helps automate emails and text to customers, run sales reports, and create loyalty programs. Just in time for summer dining, Square has a new lightweight point-of-sale device that literally fits in your pocket. Called Square Handheld, it lets you take tableside orders, process payments, and manage inventory. When your restaurant is on your mind, which is probably all the time, think big and stress less with Square. Go to square.com/big to see how Square can help you. The link is in our show notes. Now, let's check in with today's guest. J.J. Martin, welcome to Radio Cherry Bombe.
Hi, Carrie. I'm thrilled to be here with you.
Let's jump right into it. Are you having a sexy Italian summer?
Well, I just got off the plane after 10 days in Ireland, so I was having a sacred Irish tour, and now I'm ready for my sexy Italian summer. What's great about Milan, actually, living in Milan, is that it's so convenient. You are able to have your vacation, your holiday excursions every weekend. And so I'm kind of doing the sexy Italian summer starting in April and finishing at the end of September.
Is it true Italy in August pretty much shuts down? Aside from people who work in hospitality, obviously.
100%. I just checked in with a few people that actually are keeping the lights on at DoubleJ in Milan, and they said the city has completely shuttered. Everyone's packed out. I am in Florence today because I leave for a Vipassana meditation retreat tomorrow, which does not sound sexy at all, but is happening in Tuscany. And I was just taking my dog on a walk in Florence and wanted to go pop into my favorite Mother Mary chapel inside a church nearby, and it was all shuttered up. And I was like, what? What day is today? Tuesday? And it's all shuttered up. It was so random. And my boyfriend's like, yep, that's August hours. You don't really want to come to Italy in August, let's be honest, because all the Italians are on vacation, which means anywhere you go that is desirable is going to be a shit show.
That's good advice. I didn't even know even the church is shut down
Even
in
the church is
August.
shut down, basically.
And how's your pup doing? I haven't seen her in so long.
She's really good. She just had the surgery to open up her nostrils and her palato, which I guess is palate. They only told me in Italian what they were doing, so she can breathe better.
Talking about the month of August and people coming or not coming in the month of August, why is it that Italy just gets more and more popular with every passing year?
My theory is that Italy gives you the vibration and the frequency at which you are most attuned to joy and feeling good. So it's not only the sights are beautiful, the hotels are beautiful, the water is beautiful, and the food is delicious because there's other parts of the world that have it. But the Italians themselves are such joyful beings and easygoing, naturally attuned to a non-stressful life and naturally attuned to appropriately relaxing and taking the vacation life seriously. Like there's no work to be done on the vacation. You don't need to answer emails. You don't need to be responding to your phone. And it's just us sort of other Westerners who are just caught up in all of the to-do lists, and it's very hard for us to even relax when we are meant to be relaxing on our vacation. So when you're surrounded by, I've always known it, it's like that theory of entrapment energetically. Like when you're surrounded by those that are bobbing around in their own ease and harmonic grace, it's much easier for you to reflect and mirror that back.
And you're someone who is very attuned to vibes.
I like a vibe.
Have you always been that way?
No. No, I wasn't like this at all. I mean, I grew up in a family of like, professional beach volleyball players, surfers. My dad was like a total hunter, camper, fisherman, very outdoorsy. I was a competitive gymnast when I was young until I graduated from high school. Then I was in a sorority. I mean, definitely not. I always say there's like initiation by torture. I had a lot of experiences in my life that were very challenging from a mental and emotional and even physical standpoint, starting with the like kind of early death of my father, depression in high school, depression after high school, then a whole fertility situation that was just such a nightmare. And through finally just sort of throwing the towel in and understanding that Western medicine and science could only take me so far. And although those two channels are great for many things, they could not help me from a holistic standpoint. And I needed to kind of wake up and start feeding myself what my body, mind, heart, soul really needed. So that's how that happened. And it started maybe like 15 years ago. I mean, I've always been doing yoga, but that doesn't really
Mhm.
count.
When did you launch La Double J?
I launched the Double J exactly 10 years ago.
La Double J to me has always seemed to operate on a higher frequency.
She is a love child. And it was so funny when I started working with my first energy healer that was focused on fertility. It was hilarious. I mean, I did not give birth to a human baby, but I gave birth to La Double J.
We'll be right back with today's guest. Cherry Bomb's next Jubilee conference is taking place in Los Angeles on Sunday, September 28th. If you're new to Jubilee, it's our conference series that's all about connection, community, and celebrating the creatives who make the world of food and drink so vibrant. Our very first Jubilee took place in New York City in 2014, and it's grown into an amazing gathering that brings together incredible people year after year. All the details are at cherrybomb.com, and the link is in our show notes. If you're a Bomb Squad member, be sure to use your special member pricing when purchasing a ticket. When you hear the term sexy Italian summer, what pops into your brain?
I just think that the Italians are inherently sexy because they're free with their emotions, they're free with their bodies, they're free with their clothing to oh, you know what they're not free on? Their food. They're very strict with their food. So don't try to add pineapple to your pizza or don't try to put like 13 things on one plate like we do in America. That's the one thing where they really take things seriously. But in all other things, I think what's sexy is the authenticity and allowing that freedom to say and do what you want and to really be led by pleasure rather than pursuing, performance, competition, and financial results. I think that's very sexy.
It's so interesting to hear that because Italy still is one of the epicenters of fashion, which is such a competitive business.
I know you think like, how do they get it all done?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, actually. I think there is a little bit of a rhythm to the wildness. In all the madness, the sort of wisdom spins down as well. Milan is the epicenter of business getting done. So there are people that actually, follow through and are on time and make things happen. And of course, many of them work at my company. The rest of Italy does not really operate in the same way that Milan does. It's very challenging getting things done in Rome or in Sicily or anywhere south of Rome. It's just challenging. You're going to have a totally different velocity for your, getting your home remodeled or getting the pizza delivered to your table. Like all of that is just on a different flow.
So people should get their chill on before they get on the plane to Italy.
100%. And this is true when you land anywhere, especially places that have a strong energetic, and Italy really does. Right before you land on your airplane, just ask for permission to enter. Come with humility, come with a little bit of curiosity and wonder about what another culture is like and what the ancestors of this land may have to teach, because it's a lot. And there's so much wisdom that is wrapped up in their leisurely pace, which I had to learn the hard way. But when you talk about sexiness, they have sexy skin. They don't really go around with bras too much. It's totally fine to flash a little boob. That's sexy as well. I always find it so sexy when a woman is wearing something really dressy and she's in flats and no makeup and the hair is natural. The Italians are not nearly as done up.
When did you move to Italy and why?
I'm such a cliche. I met an Italian guy while I was living and working in New York. We had a 9-month long distance relationship. I quit my job at Calvin Klein, moved to Italy with no job, and started very in-depth 6-hour one-on-one Italian lessons for 3 months until I could speak the language, sort of.
Are you fluent today?
I use this term that I'm fluent in cocktail Italian. So it's like I can have a conversation with anyone about anything. I remodeled a house in Italian. I speak to suppliers and partners in Italian. I used to interview Giorgio Armani in Italian. But like if you put me in front of the news or a movie, I oftentimes get lost. I don't know why that is. That's what's so beautiful about the Italians. They delight in your efforts and they make you feel so good about your trashy Italian. And they're just excited that you want to participate and that you're trying. I think that says so much about the open-heartedness. And I think honestly, that's sexy.
So what kept you in Italy?
I stayed with the guy. We got married. He was my business partner when I started DoubleJ. We have since divorced, but he's still my business partner and I see him every day. So
That's incredible.
I tell me about it.
What are some Italian summertime traditions you learned while living there?
So they really love the sunbed, the lounge chair. Like they just want to lay there and take in the sun, like Apollo drinking from the sun. They're very leisurely on their vacations. They're not getting up early and doing yoga. They're just not doing that.
So there's no vacation itinerary. We have to do this. We have to check this off the list.
That's the antithesis to an Italian vacation. And it's all very, let's see how we feel. Let's see if we really want to go to dinner. I'll tell you tomorrow at 7 p.m. if I want to have dinner at 9 p.m. I mean, it's really like that. And what I also love about the Italians and their vacation habits is most of them have second homes. Even if they're very humble, just like an apartment somewhere, like a room or whatever it is, or it's like a castle, they're very generous with their friends and they're almost always hosting other people. So this art of entertaining and hosting is ingrained very early with the Italians. They're not having a good time unless their friends are around them.
Okay, I'm loving all this. You are a big foodie. I want to talk about summertime food and drink. What are some of your favorite Italian dishes in summertime?
Typically, the Italians are not big on salads. And since I was a vegetarian for 15 years of my time in Italy, and now I'm eating a little fish and meat just because of protein and, my advanced years and needing it, to help my muscle mass. But trying to eat as a vegetarian who does not want a plate of pasta is nearly impossible in this country. So, what I love about the summertime is that they bust out. Well, first of all, what you need to understand, and I'm sure you do, Carrie, is that the Italians eat seasonally. They do not eat pomegranates this time of year. They're not eating watermelon in December. They're not eating peaches in December. They're not even eating strawberries right now. That's like way gone. What I really love about the summer is that this is just the most delectable month for those. Like it almost feels like high frequency food. The taste of the peaches in Italy, and they do those like squished ones that look like discs rather than round balls.
Oh, we call them donut peaches,
They
those?
are just delightful. And have you ever had peaches with mozzarella? It is the best combination ever. So I love that. I mean, I just went down the little street to like pick up some stuff because, I just arrived from Ireland last night. And by the way, when I first moved to Italy, there was no takeout food. So it's like a miracle now that they kind of have prepared food to take away. And I got stunning baby zucchini that have all been like sliced into tiny little dime-sized pieces that have all been sautéed with mint and lemon. Oh my God, it's so delicious. Also, what I love in Italy, what we call like dandelion or let's say the quote unquote spinach family, the Italians have literally like hundreds of varieties of that because a lot of them are growing local greens, local weeds, whatever like grandma had in the back of the house that was like growing, they like fry up and saute in some olive oil and garlic, and it's delicious. Whether it's hickory or whatever, they have all these strange names I've never even heard of. Barba di frate, like the priest beard is another one, those like really, really skinny greens. So it's just all of that just is delightful. I also love dairy. I'm not dairy free. So all the fresh cheeses in Italy are incredible. I try to eat as much sheep and goat as possible. It's so delicious. I eat a lot of they'll do a panzanella salad and things like that. I try not to have the bread and I try to just have quinoa or doing things with like a lot more beans, all the bean salads. That's what's so fun about, in Italy, they're very much focused on small plates that are very simply made. And you just put like 6 of them out and everyone, and then you have whoever wants meat, you have a couple of, prosciutto slices for those people and you're done.
And is that dinner or that's aperitivo?
That's dinner or that's
Okay.
lunch. I mean, well, usually with dinner with, non-vegetarians, they're probably barbecuing up a fish if they're by the seaside. It just depends on where they are. They're very local. Like in Puglia, you're not going to have meat. It's like very rare to eat meat on the coast in Puglia. You're only going to ever have fish.
Oh, I want to talk about tomatoes. I mean, we associate tomatoes so closely with Italy. Does the whole country go tomato mad in August? Or is that something we've kind of invented in our heads?
Well, they start going tomato mad about like May, June. And yeah, they're fully expressed by now. There's like a hardcore tomato season here from like May through September, I would say. And of course, it's excellent in July and August. I'm very partial to the smallest little they're grape-sized tomatoes. They call them the ciliegini from Sicily. Sicily delivers very, very premium tomatoes. for fresh. If you want the canned ones, then you have to get the San Marzano. All the Italians, that's like a legit thing. That's not like a made up American thing. Because there's a lot of made up American stuff like fettuccine Alfredo, like doesn't even exist here. So sometimes the Americans will be like taking on things and marketing them in America that's not even very Italian. But San Marzano tomatoes are totally legit and they are beloved all year round. And then here, I don't really eat those buffalo tomatoes. They're not my favorite ones, those huge ones that have those beautiful shapes. But the Italians use those to eat raw in salads. I mean, like they have a tomato for like every different dish. It's so funny. Like they have certain ones that they'll make a sauce with, and like then they have certain ones that they eat raw. I usually use those ciliegini, those grape-sized ones that are sort of oval. I love those for popping in your mouth like candy during the aperitivo.
That's another trend that's really taken hold, especially in a lot of restaurants.
Did Americans not have aperitivo?
Like when you were in the US, nobody really talked about aperitivo. You didn't
Yeah,
have
we just had
restaurants
like
that were,
nuts. Yeah,
yeah.
you just usually had peanuts and like really bad chips. So if you get peanuts and bad chips like that, that means you're at a bad place in Italy.
So tell us what aperitivo means in Italy.
The aperitivo is the cocktail hour. It's the time generally between 7 and 9, because that's when people have cocktails because they don't eat dinner before 9, much to my dismay, that people are socializing and they're having one drink over a 2-hour period. They're not having 6 drinks, let alone 3 drinks. It's very American to overdrink on your cocktail hour or your cocktail 2 hours. The Italians are super moderate about alcohol, except if you go to maybe like Venice. In that area, they drink a lot. Anyway, the art of the aperitivo actually was really from what I've heard, what I've been told, is a Milanese invention. So it's not something that is bountifully replicated in many other cities, although the trend has expanded. But basically, it's this idea that you get fed a lot of like little mini bites and tastes of delicious food while you're nursing your cocktail for a 2-hour period. What's interesting also is the Italians don't really drink wine during the aperitivo hour. I always found that really weird. Remember that. They're very traditional in Italy around food. They don't want what's new, what's next. They want what's good.
So matcha hasn't taken hold. I was amazed when
Wow.
I was in Ireland this spring. It was matcha everywhere.
No, matcha has not taken hold. The only place that has matcha and almond milk or oat milk is really Florence, with all of the tourists that come through there. I think probably now Rome does, and you can probably get it. I have seen it in like a few places in Milan, but it's not diffuse.
We've got to talk about spritzes. You go out in New York City, you walk past, a restaurant with a terrace or outdoor seating, and it seems like every table has a spritz on it.
That's so cute. Americans love a trend. No,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, Aperol Spritz was born in Italy. It's definitely drunk. It's a Venetian drink. That's where it was born. So you really see it in and around Venice. The Milanese, I mean, yeah, of course, people would order an Aperol Spritz, but it's not like the Americans, they like go full in. When someone's into blueberries or kale or what have you, protein powder, remember celery juice? I love America for the enthusiasm. It's not just like, I'm going to have it once in a while. It's no, I'm only having this. I'm going to have it all the time.
Tell us some of your favorite summertime spots in Italy.
So I've been spending a lot of time recently in Como. I mean, you would think that I would be always spending time there because it's 45 minutes away from my doorstep, but actually Como is a little bit snobbed. They use that as a verb by the Milanese. They don't love lakes. But I have spent a lot of time there, and when I'm lucky enough to stay at Pasalacqua, where we did the pool area design, and the owner is a dear friend and it's just the most amazing hotel on earth, I stay there, but it's a splurge. So normally I'll stay with friends or just grab an Airbnb and go with my boyfriend. We'd like to go cold plunging. There's an amazing waterfall there with Arctic water coming from the icy mountaintops above. So I love that. Or I like to go to Forte di Marmi because my boyfriend lives in Florence. So we'll just jump in the car and head to Forte.
Tell us about Forte.
So that is one of those places that is very, very typically Italian. I mean, it probably services the entire Florentine population of people for the summer months. and it's an hour and 15 minutes away. I love it. Again, like we like the outdoors and we like to cold plunge. So, like a half an hour away is an incredible waterfall and cold pool that's just above Pietrasanta. And that's another really cute town that you need to check out. It's not on the water. It's named after the Holy Stone because this is all marble. Carrara marble is all over here. You've got this adorable town, and then you've got all of these beach clubs on the sand in Forte dei Marmi, and it's leisurely Italians riding their bikes. Nobody has a helmet. Everyone is going 1 mile an hour. They're in their swimsuits. It's so cute. And then you've got these beach clubs that everyone belongs to, or which I find very democratic. If you're just visiting, you can pay for the bed, the sunbed, and you stay for the day, which is so great. I love that.
Let's talk about La Double J, because obviously wearing La Double J is part of having a sexy Italian summer. Do you do seasonal collections?
Oh, indeed we do. We have 4 collections a year. So we do fall, winter, spring, and summer collections, and then a whole bunch of special capsules for various partners that we do. So yeah, we launched our spring summer collection in Venice with My Teresa and did a special capsule for them. And spring and the summer clothes are so easy for us to do at Double J because people are so much more willing and open to wear color and print in those months. Even a hardcore minimalist is up for a pattern in the summer months. So that's, I think, that when we really like shine.
Did you have a theme for the summer?
The one for My Teresa was all about Venetian palaces and palazzos. So there was a lot of that kind of just rich, ornate patterning on the silks. And we did a lot of like goddess dresses and one-shouldered gowns and, fluttering sleeves. And then when we move into summer, I mean, I'm wearing right now a dress that has both kind of like a tile print on it, and then it has these snakes all around the border that are inspired by my ancient Egyptian mystery school work. Because there's a goddess called Wadjet who I'm obsessed with and is part of my spiritual practice. So I love like sticking all of my little sacred symbols from my spiritual practice onto our clothes. That just gives like an added lift. It's so fun.
An added layer of protection, I would think.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, of course, we have all the swimsuits. We've got the little flirty beach dresses. And then what we've launched recently that's doing really well is all of the jewelry because we're using stones that have energetic properties, amethyst and malachite and howlite. And we've designed a lot of this in sacred symbols that are really powerful and meaningful. And it's just been beautiful to see how people really resonate with this. And it's just flying.
Are you wearing one of the pieces right now? I was trying to get a good look at
I
that necklace.
sure
That's
am.
gorgeous, JJ.
That's what you call a Shen loop. So this is a circle with the line underneath and then 3 lines that denotes the physical, the energetic, and the spiritual. And this is a super protector symbol. You see it in ancient Rome, you see it in ancient Egypt. It's been used for 5,000 years. It's incredible. What is great also about this jewelry is that it's 24 karat gold plate. So it's not solid gold, which means it's a lot less expensive than a lot of jewelry that's going on and around, but you still get that high frequency from the gold plate, which I love.
And what is that beautiful kind of burgundy colored stone
That's
that's set in that?
actually enamel. So this one is an enameled, shiny enamel, but many of our other necklaces and earrings in the collection have stones that do have energetic properties. This one, it has the energy because of the symbol, the sacred symbol of the Shen loop.
It's so beautiful. How did La Double J come to be? You were a writer, you were a journalist. That's how we got to be friends.
Exactly. We were both working at Harper's Bazaar, breeding ground for wonderful women, I might add. Yes, I was a writer, but I had been collecting vintage clothing and vintage jewelry for like 20 years and amassed a huge collection. And I decided to put it all online and shoot it all on the creative women of Milan that I was obsessed with, but that Glenda Bailey or Tony Chambers or my editors at the WSJ didn't really want to do stories on because they were, they were sort of not advertisers and they weren't super famous, but I found them to just be the coolest people and I had so much to learn. So I shot these women wearing our vintage clothing, and we would shoot them in their homes. And then we would interview them on how they decorated their home, how they hosted, how they designed their table for dinner parties, how they got dressed, how they wanted to mix and match vintage into their wardrobes. And it became this whole sort of treaty on how to live like an Italian and all the rules of the shura, which are, secrets of the Italian elite housewives. By that, I mean, these are people that would not go on a housewives reality TV show.
Have you learned all the secrets of the elite Italian housewives?
F yeah. Are you kidding me? I mean, all the best ones to know. 100%. And, the classic shura does not work, but the ones that I interviewed were all in having creative jobs, which I thought was so cool. The way that they were maniacs about their table and how they entertained and what the courses would be for the food. But then they were like juggling architecture studios or design galleries or were stylists. I just found that so cool.
Tell us about the brand today versus where you started.
So now we are a full lifestyle brand that sells new clothing, new homeware for tabletops. So we make Murano glasses, we make porcelain in Verona. We do jewelry, as I mentioned, we do puffer jackets, everything 100% made in Italy. So it's always been a love letter to Italy, this company. And at the beginning, it was the creative women, and now it's all about these beautiful, historic, traditional artisans and suppliers. On the side, we are serving a healthy dose of spirituality and consciousness with our spiritual, or let's just say our community that's called the sisterhood.
I asked about the summer collection and seasonal collections earlier because I feel like you, unlike other fashion brands, do keep a lot of things in your lineup
Yes, we
season
do.
after season.
We absolutely do. So a couple things that I think are cool about DoubleJ is we don't go on sale. And, you might be like, that's annoying, but actually it's great if you bought full price because the dress that you loved and that we know other women love, we're going to keep that in stock. Anything that is a bestseller and is awesome, we reassort and we make sure that our reorder button actually works. And the reason why we don't go on sale is because we've got the right price to begin with. All of our clothes, all of our products, well, especially the materials, are made in a silk factory in Lake Como where they are printing for the luxury world's top brands. And if you look at DoubleJ's prices and you look at some of these outrageous prices that you're seeing in some luxury brands right now, it's pretty astounding. And to me, this feels almost like it's our ethical way of operating the company is to offer the customer the right price to begin with and for it to be very fair and to support these Italians who have wonderful working conditions, great vacation, eating wonderful meals, and you get that circular economy of just a beautiful shared high frequency. And I think it really rubs off. I think people understand it when they get the clothes, they put these on, and our clothes are friendly, they're bright. And even when we don't do bright, because now we even do black dresses and we do 10 varieties of a white shirt, even when you're doing that, you put it on and you just feel good. Just like Italy makes people feel good, DoubleJ makes people feel good. I'm not here to shame anyone. I'm not here to tell people they can't join my club, they can't sit at our table. Everyone is welcome, whether you're 18, 80, if you're cool, if you're not cool, if you're short, if you're tall, if you're curvy, whatever, everyone is welcome. That's how I really feel about this.
That's beautiful, JJ. What gives you the confidence not to follow the conventional norms of the fashion industry?
I mean, I feel like I've always been kind of an outsider. And since I started from a journalistic standpoint, how many times did I interview Karl Lagerfeld, Marc Jacobs, Donatella Versace, Dolce& and Gabbana, Armani? Like I have been in their homes, in their studios, in their ateliers, at their runway shows. So I never kind of wanted to jump in and be like, I'm a designer. Like that would be the most ridiculous thing ever. So I just started really kind of like with my nose down and I'm like, well, I'm offering this and now we're doing that. And I always, always, always speak in the word we. Like we put this collection together. We designed this dress. We are now putting gong temples on the top of our offices and opening Divine Mother caves in the bottom of our stores, not my store, our store.
Tabletop has become very important to you and La Double J. Has tabletop always been a personal interest of yours?
Well, that I really learned from the Italians, from those shura. When I first arrived and I didn't know how to cook, and I was literally panicked because we were eating out every night or ordering pizza and there were like no other options. I started bringing cookbooks to bed, reading them. I'll remember my first important one was the Dean and DeLuca cookbook, and I like brought that to my bed in 2002 and read it like a novel. I had a lot of work to do. So whenever I was a guest at anyone's house, and especially as my job as a journalist and going into all these incredible homes, watching Rosita Missoni make lunch for 12 people by herself, I mean, I really started to like take notes. That's when I started getting obsessed about it. Then when we launched it at Double J, I also understood that I wanted to do it in a way that was like uniquely me. I don't think the Italians were doing as wacky tables as what we have provided. So I always add a little bit of kind of California zhuzh and jazz hands to whatever I have learned from the very stylish Italians.
Are you a mix and match tabletop gal or matching all the way?
Oh, mix and match. Definitely. I mean, that's the name of our game. That's really the heart and soul of Double J is the mix and match. And I've always adored doing that. I used to do that with vintage a lot. And then when we, started with the new clothing, that's what this game is all about. Like putting a small print with a big print and doing something, adding a pop of color here or there. And you do that with a Murano glass, or you do that with a napkin, or you can do that with like a blouse or jeans and a blazer and a jacket and a coat. So there's all these different layers and all these different universes that you can create based on mood. And that's what's very cool about the tabletop is that you can kind of treat it as the closet for your house because you absolutely can change your tabletop much more frequently than you can change your couch.
That's a great point. Did I read you're launching stationery soon?
Yes, we are. We have a wonderful collaboration with an Ecuadorian artist called Beetoval. He's this adorable guy. He does not speak a lick of English. He kind of understands Italian a little bit, but not really. We basically were doing sign language and like hugs. We like hugged it out. And he made us all these fantastic creatures that we have put on a line of decorative objects. So we have decorative plates and you have all these vases and you've got cork placemats that are gorgeous as well as stationery. And they're really fun. There's like turtles that are flying. There's flowers that are sprouting parrots. There's all these weirdo fantastical creatures.
How did you two find each other?
I think that our team found him on Instagram because we're always kind of looking at artists. We collaborate with a lot of artists frequently. And he was just one of the names that popped up. And we were like, yeah, let's do it.
When does that launch, JJ?
So that comes into stores September, October.
All right, you've been on the road quite a bit for work and for pleasure and spiritual reasons. Curious how you pack for all that travel. Do you have any packing tips?
Oh my God. I have become a packing ninja. You have no idea. I mean, you should see where I am right now. I am in a transit period in Florence where the incoming Ireland huge suitcase that had to have all of the heavy winter goods just came in. And by the way, this is not my home. This is my boyfriend's home. Then I had brought down a smaller bag with all of my meditation stuff for the Vipassana silent retreat for 10 days. And then afterwards, I'm going to a volcanic island with my boyfriend, Stromboli. And that's a whole other set because that's definitely sexy Italian summer and has nothing to do with Irish or meditating gear. So this requires heavy organization. It really helps when you've got a fashion company and there's like a PDF with all the looks and I can kind of like circle things and then we can pull from there. Then we start folding. I love those zip pouches for all the small stuff that typically gets lost. All my workout gear goes in one of those zip pouches. All of my underwear and socks goes in one of those. All the swimwear goes in another. They're just those chic ones that came with my Paravel luggage that is sustainable. And, by the way, in Ireland, we were changing hotels every day for 10 days. It was a nightmare from a packing standpoint. So you have to be so rigorous about all the pants right here, all the tops right here, all the dresses on this place. Like, you just have to be super, super smart about it. So I travel with a hard suitcase. Then I travel with a larger, what I call the big mama tote at DoubleJ, which is like an open bag that doubles as a beach bag wherever I go. And that's where a lot of just like tuggy things like wraps for what I need for either the sitting on the beach or in the airplane. And then I like these other pouches that we do that are kind of dressy pouches at DoubleJ that double as, okay, it can hold all of my cosmetics, but then I can also use this as a pouch when I'm going out and I want to put my cell phone and wallet and earphones and lip gloss in.
Are you a folder or a roller of
I'm
clothes?
a I'm a total folder, and I'm really into clothes that do double duty, and that's something that we're really into at Double J, that, like, there's the long sleeve bathing suit that doubles as a bodysuit. There's a lot of bathing suits that you can be worn then with skirts or shorts as ready to wear. That's a huge game changer. Then things that are reversible are great too. We do a lot of reversible things, whether it's a dress that you can wear with a V in the front or a high neck, or it's a poncho that's one print on one side and a solid on another. So that way you get two in one.
JJ, last thing I want to talk about with you, you are a very spiritual person and love to share spiritual and healing practices with people. You're very generous with all that information. You mentioned this a little bit earlier, but when did that first become part of your life?
Well, so it became part of my life when I was suffering with the infertility, I would say. So that was a while ago. But then it became something that I felt compelled to share with the world during COVID, because we were all at home in March of 2020, especially in Milan. I don't know if you remember, but like no one could leave their houses at all, ever. And it was super gnarly and people were freaking out over here. And I remember my editor at the time was like, I think all that like weird stuff you're doing, it might be helpful for people. Why don't you talk about it? And plus, we don't have any content to run. So I got on Instagram and I just started downloading and sharing what my hacks and tools and tips and techniques were. I mean, a lot of it is just how to, I would say like 50% of your spiritual practice is just like learning how to handle fear seriously about everything. And like once you're out of a state of fear, then your heart opens and you can receive and transmit love so much easier. And that is the spiritual practice. I think every single religion, every kind of weird multidimensional hack is all getting at that at the end goal. Like, how do we as humans learn to react to what's going on within and without us with love? So we have been, since those live recordings on Instagram, doing a lot of online activations and workshops. And then when we opened our store with the Divine Mother Cave, we started taking a lot of that activity into live circles. Over the last 5 years, I've hosted over 250 spiritual events for Double J. So it's anything from 10 people to 50 people sometimes 200 or 300 online, but it's usually smaller groups, about like 15 or 20. And it's all about introducing people to the tools, the techniques, and the teachers that they need in order to raise their vibration and expand their consciousness. And there's a million different ways you can do that. Not one of them is right. It's all about finding your energetic fingerprint and your signature and what resonates with you. So we like to give people a lot of different things. Like when we go to Paris in October, we're going to be doing another, like in Nantucket, when I was just there for 2 days of a Trump show, we did 2 days of a healer hive with the island's healer community and offered 20 different sessions over a 2 day period, open to everyone for free on the island and part of our sisterhood community. And it was just like exceptional. And people, doing wound cleansings, things they've never even heard of before. Like a lot of people don't even know what their chakras are, and they don't even know why that's relevant and how they actually need to think of their energy body and cleansing it every day the way they would brush their teeth. So these are the things that we do with our sisterhood community. I'm really into it. I would much rather be like captain of the community than co-CEO and creative chief of a fashion business. But like, I guess I'm just doing all of it, and that makes sense for now. And one day I'd like to open a retreat center in Italy and you can come.
That would be amazing. If folks are listening to you and thinking that what you're saying is really resonating with them, but they don't know where to start, I know you said there's no right or wrong, but where is a good place to start?
So, first of all, sign up to the sisterhood. It's free, it's on our website. And what's so cool about it is not only are you getting access when you sign up to my healer book, so there's like 50 healers all over the world that I recommend and have vetted, and you can read about them. Then there's a practice page. It says, let's practice. Go to that page and you will find over 50 practices in everything from breath work, sound healing, meditation, etc. And you can just like dive in. These are free classes on the Double J. And on top of it, we offer access to our Sisterhood Academy classes. Those are live classes that we do. We've been doing it about monthly. And then if you don't catch the Sisterhood Academy live, then it goes into the practice page. So you can catch it there. Now we've opened up our Gong Temple on top of our headquarters in Milan, where you guys can come visit us. We have like 4 classes a week in meditation, sound, yoga. We have a lot of visiting practitioners. Taryn Toomey came in. It was great to have her. And so you can visit us in Milan. And we're starting to seed more of this in America as we're opening our stores.
I mean, that's incredible that those resources are free. JJ, it was great to see you and chat with you.
Thank you so much, honey. I adore you. And now that we are opening stores in America, I feel like I can see you and all of your listeners, your readers, your fans a lot more. And yeah, let's just spread the love, Carrie, and spread the good vibes.
That's it for today's show. Thank you to JJ Martin for kicking off our sexy Italian summer miniseries. You can follow DoubleJ on Instagram. And if you want to learn more about the sisterhood and access JJ's healer book and practice guide, the link is in our show notes. Tune in next Wednesday to hear my conversation with Chef Angie Rito of Don, Angie, and San Sabino in New York City. Our theme song is by the band Cha La La. Special thanks to the Studio Portland in Maine. Our producers are Catherine Baker and Jenna Sadu, and our talent guru is London Crenshaw. Thanks for listening, everybody. Ciao, Bella.